Hi, Gaye DeRusso with the Majestic rider. So today I'm going to talk to you about softness in your hands. What does exactly that mean? So when you're riding a horse, of course you use your hands and you use your arms in the beginning. But as you get better, you just use your hands on the reins to give and take and release on the horse. So when you have ride with a soft hand or a light hand, it means that you're not putting a lot of contact in that horse's mouth, and that when you do, you're very soft with your hands. So when I'm riding, I'm going to kind of open my fingers up so you can see. My hands are usually curled around the reins, but I'm holding them actually kind of loosely, even though my fingers are around the reins. When I go to ask the horse to do something, I squeeze and relax on the rein. So say I'm riding and the horse is going too fast. So with both reins, I squeeze. Once he slows down even a little bit, then I release. And I'm not opening my fingers way up, I'm just squeezing and then relaxing. That's a half halt. So when you're riding, you might be doing that a fair amount or a little bit, depending on how fast your horse is, how competitive, how well it gates. Because that is going to kind of tap the brakes for you. When you're riding, you're holding a lot of contact the whole time. The horse will get numb to it, and then it starts to get annoyed. It's like someone who's shoving their finger into your shoulder the entire time. Sooner or later, you're like, stop it. So a lot of horses, when I'm giving lessons with people, have problems with their heads because people have either been in their mouth too much or not at all. So they're not used to the pressure, or it's too much pressure. So if someone's hanging on the horse all the time, the horse wants to get away from it. So instead of going slower, it actually starts to go faster. And so if you have a go-y horse, you want to give it jobs to do to keep its mind busy, and then half halt on the reins, give and take. Anytime you're sitting there and you're relaxing, give that horse the rein and let it sit there on a longer rein. If it does something, pick your reins up, give it a job to do, drop the reins and ask it to stand there again. If it won't stand there, then give it double the job. Something harder to do, or do more of it. So say the first time you backed up, and then you let your reins go, he won't stand there, now back him in a circle. You let your reins go, he won't stand there, now you back 2 circles. You let your reins go, he won't stand there, you back up 5 circles, and so on. Backing up is not fun for the horse, and backing up in circles is not fun at all. So it usually gets the point across. So instead of hanging on the whole time, again, give the horse jobs to do. And it seems counterintuitive that if you hold on, they would get faster, but they get very claustrophobic. They want to get away from that pressure. What do horses do with pressure? If they don't give to it, they pull on it. So when I ask for my horse to put its head down, once it puts its head down, then I release on the reins. I'm not going to keep holding on them. So there's horses that chuck their heads. Those are horses trying to get the reins away from people. There's horses that pull their heads down or pull it down towards the ground. Same thing, they're trying to get the reins away from people. When you're learning to ride, you need to ride with a soft hand, but you need someone to show you how to do that. It just doesn't come. It's just like driving. Somebody has to show you how it works, when to use it, when not to use it, and then you'll be able to ride with a softer hand. Now there's some of you that don't want to touch the horse's mouth at all. You think it's really mean, and so you ride on a loose floppy rein. And then down the road you might have to sell the horse, it goes to someone, or say I buy it, and then I have to teach the horse all about pressure, how to give to pressure and how to release. And the horse might be doing this crazy stuff with his head because, I hope that's on video, I don't know what they were doing, because they're not used to the pressure. The horse has to get used to the pressure and then it'll be fine, but you don't want to hold pressure that entire time. You want to give and release. If you're standing out on trail and you're relaxing, same thing. If you think that horse is going to run or go away, still don't be in its mouth. Ask it to stand there and then push your arms forward so you're not pulling on the rein. Keep your arms forward like this, and then if he does something, you got the contact, and then you can give him a job to do. Then push your arms forward again. You'll see lots of people giving lessons, and on the lesson horses, the people are holding pressure the whole time. Then the trainer's talking to the person who's taking the lesson, and the person is still holding contact the whole time. Sometimes the trainers are doing that. I never do that. When I go to instruct people or tell them something, if it's going to be a while, I tell them, let go of your rein. Let your horse have a break. Let it stretch its neck. If you release for the horse, then he will be good for you. But if you never let go of him, you're in his mouth the whole time, they are going to start having problems with the reins and pulling on the reins. A lot of people think it's the bit when they come to me, that their horse is having a head chucking problem, and they buy all these crazy like gated bits that are supposed to fix them or make them gait, and it doesn't. I just say, what bit do you want me to use? I'm going to show the horse how to get used to it, how to give to the bit, and then I'm going to show you how to use your hands, and so the horse doesn't throw its head anymore. And then if he does throw his head, we hold the reins, hold the pressure on the reins when he's trying to yank the reins away, and then when he stops and he stands still, that's when we release. So again, the reason the horse got the head chucking problem is probably because you were holding the whole time, he threw his head, he got the reins out of your hands, and what happened? He got a release. So he learned that was a reward, so then again they repeat it over and over again, and then all of a sudden the horse has a head chucking problem. But that's why you'll see so many lesson horses throwing their heads, because they're given lessons and people don't know how to use their hands. Okay, so when you're first riding, a lot of people use arm pressure to pull on the reins. As you get better, that should change. It shouldn't all be arm pressure. Then it should just be finger pressure. And then it should be less finger pressure. And it should be a lot of breathing and relaxing, because the horse will feel all of that. So if you've been riding 20 years and you're still yanking on the bit, you need how to learn to ride with a softer hand. And again, a lot of us ride with the longer shanks. It helps to set the horse's head. It's easier for my clients, but you have to ride with a soft hand. If you're someone who rides with a heavy hand, you yank or pull, then you shouldn't have a long shank. You should have either a shorter shank or some kind of a miler bit, more snaffle type. Because the heavier your hands, the harsher you are, the less bit you should have. The softer you are with your hands, the more bit you can have, and it won't upset the horse at all because you're hardly touching it most of the time. Okay, hope that helps you to understand what softness is and how to give to the horse and make it a better horse.